Hey, what's up? Yo, check this out. I just want to show you this modification I did to my mx650. I want to let you know it's the bomb. You see nothing like this nowhere. Nobody got this. Nobody. I haven't seen it yet, not even on YouTube. I'm the first. Check it out. I just modified my mx650 right here. Okay. Just modified my mx650 with a 1,000-watt motor, universal controller inside. Okay. And I also put a new shock on, a little longer, so that I can get this little bend back here in the back coming down. I want the wheel coming down. It helps to lift up the back a little, you know. Yo, nobody has done this modification yet. I stood up all night doing a lot of rewiring inside for the universal controller. So the universal controller doesn't come, you know, ready to hook up by, so I had to go changing a lot of plugs and stuff like that to get it to work. I will show it to you, but I already closed it up. I already rolled it. I'm doing about 31.7 miles per hour now, which is pretty fast for the mx650 compared to its 22 miles per hour. Just want to show you a little bit of the modification I did here. As you can see, it still has the old bracket. Okay, the motor in length is a little longer, and I had to cut in to the frame over here with a grinder, and then on the other side it's cut around like this. It's cut round. It's not actually cut down. This piece down here is not cut. It's only cut round to fit the motor inside. I had to grind it, cut it back over here, then along the edge, and along there. Then I cut the old bracket out. I cut out the old bracket so I could fit in, so I could put it in to here. But I left the piece that curves down on it because it was on the edge on the other side where the motor, where the stock motor goes. So now it's a great modification. If you do this modification, you're gonna like it. Be careful with the wiring. The wiring is not as easy as it looks unless you know a little bit about electricity like I do. The universal controller that's inside wouldn't take charge for the recharger, so I had to use the mx650 controller, and the only thing working on that right now, which is I have it inside, mounted inside on the outside of the box right up here. It wouldn't take charge. The universal controller wouldn't let the batteries charge because of the charging wire. So I had to hook up the charging wire and to the electrical wires inside to the mx650 old controller in order to charge up the batteries. So now I can charge the batteries, and the motor runs off the universal controller, which is good. And the modification I did, the reason why I had to cut into the frame was because the motor was much longer, and also was the sprocket on the other side. The sprocket was different, and the shaft is a little longer on this side here. So I had to even out a sprocket with the back shaft here to make the chain even. So that way, as I'm riding, it wouldn't, you know, be rubbing on one side or possibly come off at those speeds, you know. The chain will come off on you. So be careful there. And also, I don't know how many of you guys like the stock shock that it has, but I took off the stock shock, which was 5 3/4 with a I think it's like a 300 or 350 tension spring on it. So I took off the old stock shock. I put in a 6 1/4 with an 850-pound tension spring on it, and now I get that kind of bounce, like, you know, I can bounce forever here. It's real nice. I like it. It doesn't bang, doesn't hit the floor anymore, you know. Doesn't hit the floor anymore. Before I used to go over bumps and it used to like boom, boom, you know. And also you can see this great look that the shock gives the bike now. As you notice in the back over here, see, my bike is a little high on the seat and my bar is going downward, which lowers the wheel but raises the back up, you know, which is really nice. I like that look. I like the look, and the feeling riding it is outrageous, you know. And also I have a little more room here on the bottom now too, you know. So definitely I'll get back to you on my next modification when I change my front shocks and I get a bigger shock for the back. I'm planning on putting a 10 back there and some at least 32 inches, 34 inches shocks in the front. I'm definitely hooking this bike up. Also joining the modification, I left the old throttle on instead of putting the new one because the new one didn't come with any indicator lights on it, and the old one has indicator lights on it, so lets you know when your battery's going low, you know. I found it to be that when I'm riding it, I'm getting the same amount of time out of it as, you know, stock time wise. I know for a fact that if I put another battery up in there, make it a 48 volt, okay, which the universal controller is adaptable to up to 72. If I make it 48 volts with the 1,000-watt motor, I extend the time. I don't extend the speed. I extended the speed already from the 650 watts that it had to 1,000. So it goes, I think, 8-9 miles per hour more. If I put another battery in there and I make it a 48 volt, it just gives me more time. It doesn't increase the speed. It just stay at I'm getting 3,000 RPMs out of it now. So I think it's a really great modification. You know, anybody out there looking to modify it, you know, you need any advice, my email is farina558@gmail.com. You need any advice, just hit me up. You know, if you need to know anything about the wiring or whatever inside, you know, that's about it. Besides that, I got the fastest bike on the block. And I'm feeling good about it right now. I'm taking that bad boy out for a ride in a few minutes. Talk to you later.